Start off the week right. Thursday night football. Jaguars and the Titans.
Yep.
Um, what would you say this is may have been the contender for of the week?
Well, it wasn't as ugly as the last Color Rush, at least.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, what do you feel about these color rushes? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Do you?
I don't know. I hated the first one just because I thought they were really ugly, the red and green.
Hmm.
But this was all right. I don't know. I don't really have that strong of an opinion on it, honestly.
I
I
like
just
them.
think that there needs to be maybe some common sense taken into account here. Like that red and green thing needs to never happen again. That was bad. Unless it's like actually the Christmas game.
Oh yeah, like it's on Christmas Eve or something.
Yeah, then I would be okay with it.
Right.
But that was, but even then, like there was a lot of complaints about people from people with red green color blindness. But it kind of says a lot about this game that we're still talking about last Thursday's game.
True. Yeah, that's true. Uh,
I mean, Jaguars did come back, make it interesting, all that. Like came back and won and shit. But as a whole, it was just a pretty. It just felt like a meaningless game.
Kinda. I mean, it was meaningful for them. They're amongst the
Right.
same division, and right now, basically, they're fighting to get ahead of the Texans, so they can try to get ahead of the Colts to try to at least win the division. And
That's what I'm saying. Does anyone really believe that the Jaguars or the Titans are going to the playoffs? And does
no,
anyone believe that if they actually somehow made it there, they would do anything?
yeah, that's a good point,
They
and
might win a
especially not
game.
this
They
year.
might upset someone that didn't take them serious, but they're not going to make a deep run.
No, you're not going to see the Jaguars or Titans in the AFC Championship game by any
I mean,
means.
if that happens, then I'll eat my words. But
Right.
I feel pretty safe making that statement.
Well, I mean, final score for Titans were 13. The only touchdown was a 23-yard run by Marcus Mariota. Not even a not even a throw. It wasn't
Right?
uh it wasn't an actual like halfback that made the run, and which was bizarre to me, and I think this is kind of
We're just gonna pretend it didn't happen and keep going.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Spilled water all over my damn self. Good thing I'm wearing black. All right. Anyways.
To be honest, I wasn't even looking at your camera at the time, so I completely missed. I just figured you're taking a
Oh,
sip.
oh no! I
Well, I
spilled
guess
all over myself. Man. The most exciting thing that happened in this whole video.
it's gonna be the most exciting thing that's going to happen, unless like I die from this fucking cold that's
Like,
kicking my ass.
like as you're shitting on the game for only having like the Titans only having a touchdown by like a quarterback run,
Yeah.
I just spill water all over myself.
I think honestly, with Mariota's run into the end zone, that kind of speaks volumes of where the Jaguars like need work on their team in order to be an actual contender with amongst their division. Because offensively, I think Blake Bortles just keeps getting better and better. You got Allen Robinson and Allen Hurns who are really really good wide receivers and very young too. So there's a lot of potential behind them. You have Julius Thomas as your tight end, which is like helping out. They're not really utilizing him that much, but it's still a threat. It's still helping somewhere. And
Right.
TJ Yeldon is really young. He's doing decent. He's not doing bad by any means.
Oh, he's had a pretty good year, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's been very consistent, especially
Yeah,
amongst like fantasy wise and
yeah.
everything.
And rookies especially.
Oh, definitely. By that means, but when you allow a 23-yard run by their quarterback straight into the end zone untouched, really speaks volumes about what Jaguars need to do defensively. I mean, you can't allow that to happen. That's not just a fluke. I mean, where's your middle linebackers? Where's your safety to take, to come in there and try to take them down? Like, no one saw this happening for 23 yards? Come on
Right.
now.
Um, definitely deep. I mean, and it's not like the Titans are a high octane offense either. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Ugh. That said, I think both these teams have a lot of promise, like in the future,
Yeah.
because they have a lot of young, building blocks. Like you kind of ran through the Jaguars already, but there's like, well, obviously the big one on Tennessee is Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
So I think that's these are teams that are moving in the right direction. Seemingly, it wasn't their year yet.
Yeah.
Although with this division being as weak as it is, they could still potentially steal a playoff berth. It wouldn't be the craziest thing, despite what I said
No,
earlier.
not by any
You know,
means. Uh, I,
Doyle Greenback on too. That's another player that I'm
yeah.
excited. He shows a lot of promise. So they've got a few of them. They'll be. It's good. The AFC South is a pretty bad division this year, but I think it's going to be one to watch the next few years as far as
I
seeing how these young teams develop.
You know what? I wouldn't be so surprised. Look how bad the NFC South was last year, and now look
Right.
how big names. I mean, the Buccaneers are five. We'll get to this later, but Buccaneers are 5-5, and they're hunting for the playoffs still.
Right.
And so that just kind of shows. And you got a team who's undefeated. You have Atlanta, who were undefeated for what, 5 games, 6 games this season. So it's showing that in just one season, an entire division can completely turn around. If you have two teams alone that have this many young, talented players, by next season, you might see two really good winning seasons amongst both of these teams, and they're really going to be giving the Colts and the Texans a lot more to bargain with.
Right. I mean, it's funny. You didn't mention the Saints, but shit, even the Saints who are in last place right now at 4-6 would be good enough to be one game back in the
Yeah,
AFC South.
yeah,
So, I
truly.
mean, overall, even the weakest team right now, which is the Saints, unfortunately, isn't just complete garbage. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So it could turn around really quick. It really could. I don't know if um, the Titans and the Jaguars have quite the tools to make an impact next year, but the Texans and the Colts, I think, are both, just a few players and maybe some coaching shifts, especially with the Colts, away from being contenders, like legitimate contenders.
I'd say especially with the Texans too. Look at the whole
Yeah.
Ryan Mallett, Brian Hoyer
If they could ever get the
confusion they
quarterback
had.
situation resolved,
Yeah, which has been the
just
Texans' entire history in their franchise so
right.
far.
I mean, look at Hopkins over there. The AFC South is interesting, and this was an interesting, I guess, especially if you're in that division. If you're one of the four teams, a fan of one of the four teams in that division. But outside of that, as far as looking at just this season, this game wasn't that big of a deal.
No, no, no.
And the Jaguars proved they're a little bit better, which I think most people probably expected.
Yeah, and I said in the beginning when this game started, I figured Jaguars were going to take it, and they did. I mean, not by much, but still, they got the win.
And the Titans almost did it. It was a little bit closer than I thought.
Yeah,
Honestly.
and
Came
honestly, it
down
was
to
a
the wire.
comeback from behind too.
Yeah,
Which
that's what I'm
honestly,
saying.
a lot of
Came down to the
Jaguar
wire.
wins have. I mean, that's how they beat the Bills too, over in London.
Mm,
They came back from
That's
behind.
a good point. Good point.
So,
That
uh,
shows they can play from behind. They just got to
well,
learn how to
maybe it shows
lead.
that Blake Bortles, when he gets more experience in the NFL, he might be a big clutch quarterback.
Right.
Maybe,
Maybe. We'll see, I guess.
right? Definitely see. So I think with that, you can always follow us on Facebook and Twitter. There's links in the descriptions below. There's definitely could have been my of the week, but maybe it was a close one. And hey, we didn't. I mean, we discussed it before. I like the color rush. I actually hope that it keeps happening every Thursday. I personally like it. And so if you enjoy or you don't enjoy the color rush, please leave us a comment, whether on our YouTube channel or on Facebook or on Twitter or wherever you want to leave us a comment, and let us know what you think of the color rush.
Cheers.